Hi crafting friends, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, a special welcome. In today's video, I'm very excited to share with you a popular new trend that I've just learned called busted canvas. I will be demonstrating that technique to you. My name is Lisa. I'm also very excited to share with you these gorgeous roses from Rose Forever, New York. These luxurious roses are real roses. Some of them are sourced in Ecuador. They are preserved using only natural oils and are allergen-free. They're so luxurious, so realistic, and the beauty is that they last for a year or more. I received these as a gift from Rose Forever, New York, and I'm so honored to receive them and to have this affiliation with this company. This beautiful heart-shaped box is vegan suede. It feels like a natural suede material. It's a very elegant black, and this heart shape is such a beautiful presentation. About a year ago, I was gifted this arrangement of 16 luxurious blue roses in the black square box. I've also sent some as gifts, one to a very dear friend who had surgery. I love this company, I love the presentation, and I can attest to the quality. I would not put anything on my channel that I also wasn't delighted to have in my own home. These give that beautiful finishing touch and easily elevate the look of any room. They're perfect opportunities for gifts, for anniversary, birthdays, new babies, weddings. They come very beautifully packaged in an outer carton with protective wrap. And they come in a variety of colors, many of which you can see here on the website that I'm just scrolling through for you. They are 100% fresh and natural, and I love the fact that they preserve them only using natural oils. Here's the image of the heart-shaped box that I received. Now we'll go back to our crafting and return to these roses later in the video. And now, inspired by the beautiful flowers around us, I'm going to show you how to easily decorate this $1.25 Dollar Tree basket. This is the Mod Podge I also bought at Dollar Tree, and this roll of parchment paper, also from Dollar Tree, I want to show you is so handy to protect your work surface. I purchased a package of these beautiful sunflower napkins from Amazon. I saw some gorgeous sunflowers growing in a field, and I thought this would be the perfect epitome of summer. So you take one section of the napkin, and as you can see, I'm separating the plies. You only want to use that top surface of the design. The next thing I'm going to do is do what's called a fussy cut. Rather than using my water pen to create a deckled line, I'm now going to go ahead and just cut, as you see, very carefully around the design. Once I have it beautifully cut out, I realized there was a second ply behind the image. So this was actually a 3-ply napkin, and it's important to remove both extra plies. Now I'm going to take the basket and just use some Mod Podge in the bottom of the bowl. It almost looks like I'm stirring a recipe because I'm using this paintbrush to work the Mod Podge down into the crevices of the natural fiber of the basket. Now I'm just laying that image right into the bottom and gently pressing it with my fingers so that it takes on the contour of the weave. The next step will be to let it dry and then apply a surface coat of Mod Podge. This pouncer brush from Dollar Tree works really well to gently add that top coat of Mod Podge. And while that Mod Podge was still wet, I sprinkled in some very fine glitter to add a decorative touch. That sparkle in the bottom is a lovely decorative detail, and this basket is now ready to be used by a doorside table for keys or on a dresser or anywhere you just want to hold some small items. Here's an example of another way you can decorate the $1.25 Dollar Tree little baskets. This one I decorated using a bird's nest inspired napkin, and I have that by our front door entry. Fabric also works really well. Here I used a Dollar Tree baby blanket, cutting out the little animals to decorate baskets. And now on to the next project, the busted canvas I think you're going to really enjoy. I'm starting out with a Dollar Tree canvas, and I'm using some of this apple barrel jet black paint to paint the entire surface of the canvas. As you can see, I'm using this narrow Dollar Tree sponge brush. You can find them in packages at the Dollar Tree in both the crafting section as well as in the auto section, where you actually get more per package. I'm going around the edges of the canvas as well. And once I get that first layer, I'll let it thoroughly dry before going over it with another light layer. You can use either a heat gun or simply let it air dry. Set it aside once you have your first coat. And then, as you see, I'm using this gorgeous bird napkin that I purchased also from Amazon. They also sell these on Decoupage napkins in smaller quantities. I'm also using that beautiful piece of copper-colored rice paper that I purchased from the paper source. So the first step is just to cut out one square of your design. And then, as always, we're going to separate the plies. Here you see it's a 3-ply napkin, and I'm just removing that top layer. The next step is going to be to create a deckled edge. And to do that, I'm using a water pen just to go around the outer perimeter of the design. I want to capture as much of the design as possible. Those of you who follow my channel know that I like using this technique. It creates a deckled or feathered edge around the design, enabling the design to more beautifully and seamlessly blend into the background. The water pen, as you see, has a chamber that you just fill with tap water, and it weakens the paper of the napkin, enabling you to just gently pull away with your finger those parts of the outer border. And again, it just feathers that edge. The next technique I want to demonstrate to you is to show you how to create an image that will be wrinkle-free. So take a Ziploc plastic bag and overturn your image onto it. As you can see here now, I'm using a little spray bottle to mist the back side of the napkin with water. That immediately causes the paper to absorb the water and wrinkle. But these are wrinkles that we can control. So as those wrinkles occur, we're gently pulling them out using our fingertips. You can see here that as I pull gently against it, the wrinkles are disappearing. Now that our canvas has thoroughly dried, I want to show you what we're going to do to the back side. I'm going to take that gorgeous copper-colored rice paper, and I'm going to cut a rectangular piece that will fit into the back of that canvas. So once it's cut, you can see it will fit nicely into that space. In order to adhere it, I'm going to apply some Mod Podge. Now here we want to use a fairly good amount of Mod Podge, so I'm applying a thick coat to the back. Then I overlaid the paper right down on top of it, and now as you see, I'm adding another heavy coat of Mod Podge and using my heat gun to dry it. You want it to dry thoroughly. The reason I used a very thick coating of the Mod Podge is because we want that paper to become very durable. It will almost feel like leather when we're done. Now here I'm just going over the front surface again, and I also put a second light coating of the jet black apple barrel paint over the surface of that canvas. Now that the canvas is evenly coated, I'm just going to use that heat gun and dry it again thoroughly. Now that the front and the back of this canvas are prepared, we're moving on to our third step. Using a Dollar Tree glue stick, I am attaching to a piece of white cardboard a piece of Dollar Tree canvas. I cut that rectangular piece of canvas off of one of the $1.25 Dollar Tree framed canvases. Now I'm applying some Mod Podge, again using that sponge brush, and I'm applying the Mod Podge vertically as well as horizontally to give a nice even layer to the surface. And while that Mod Podge is still wet, I'm taking our napkin and overlaying it onto the surface. And the next step is to take a tissue. You can use those extra plies from the back of the napkin and just smooth it out, going from the center outward gently. And once you have gone over the entirety of the surface, you can just gently peel back that plastic bag and you will see that your image looks as though it's been painted onto the surface of the canvas. It even takes on that texture. Here I'm just smoothing around the edges and peeling away any excess. Now I want to show you a little trick. Whenever you see a spot that looks like it's torn, you can take the corresponding piece of the pattern from another napkin, cut it out, overlay it, and smooth it on, and you'll never know the difference. Using a little bit of Mod Podge on the top finishes it off. Next, I'm using an optional technique. This is Arteza Gold paint, and I'm just using a very fine paintbrush to highlight some of the gold veining of the leaves. I just thought it was a pretty decorative touch. After I did this and let it once again thoroughly dry, we're ready to mount that into the back of our canvas. Because of the shape of the design, we'll go with a vertical orientation. You see the back is nicely dry and very almost leather-like. You can see here on the back, I've made a cut, and an easier technique I've since learned is to use an X-Acto knife. But here I'm using some very sharp scissors and I'm just creating some diagonal cuts going in the direction of the wooden frame. Turning it over, this is the effect you get. And you can see here that I am just curling it back. The more cuts you make, the more areas that you can pull back and curve. I've seen some people make many cuts, some people just a few. Here I'm making some additional cuts, and as I make those cuts, I'm creating more lovely areas that we can curl back. Again, an easier approach is to start in the center with an X-Acto knife, making a perfect cross and working from there. But this worked too, and as my projects often go, I learn as I create. So here you can see how the material underneath, although it started out as rice paper, it now has an almost leathered texture, and it's very, very beautiful and easy to handle as I curl it back. I can see why some people say this is addictive as you learn the techniques. The possibilities for creating these frames are just endless, depending on the materials you use, the colors, the designs, the papers. Here I've framed my canvas bird, and I'm using now my hot glue to just attach those tips to the canvas so that those pretty curls will retain their shape. And as you glue down your curls, again, just putting some hot glue on those tips, you can manipulate it so the curves are as they are pleasing to you. And here again, I'm just going to add a touch of hot glue to this pointed end and then just fold it down and hold it in place while it adheres. You can choose to have all of your curls symmetrical, or you can have them random. The idea is that the canvas has burst open, revealing the beautiful image from behind. Here I'm adding a jewel from Totally Dazzled. I wanted to just touch on the fall theme, so I added this pretty pumpkin to the upper corner, and that draws together some of the gold highlights that I added to the leaf veins. I think this is just gorgeous and can be made for just under a few dollars. Please take a look at my link in the description box below this video if you'd like to order an assortment of these beautiful roses from Rose Forever New York. Thank you for watching. Please do consider subscribing if you haven't already. I have lots more planned, including demonstrating how to make this fun busted Santa canvas using a napkin. Take care and God bless.